Woke up late, still made 5 bands, did it half asleep, y'all don't stand a chance. Told your whole Discord to buy the dip, now they all in my DMs cause the floor just slipped. I don't trade dreams, I don't chase hype, I just print money while you pray at night. Your mom's in my messages asking for tips, says she likes how I move, yeah she loving the risk. I don't need no luck, I don't need no guide, I just press that green, watch the numbers fly. You can flex fake charts, you can run your mouth, but your broker says you can't even cash it out. Nah, prints don't lie, your bag look heavy, hope you like the ride. Another week, another 100 grand, I might throw a party just to burn a couple bands. They be begging me to share my plays, but if I gave them out, they'd fumble them away. Your mom's in my messages asking for tips, says she likes how I move, yeah she loving the I don't need no luck, I don't need no guide, I just press that green, watch the numbers fly. You can flex fake charts, you can run your mouth, but your broker says you can't even cash it out. Now prints don't lie, your bag look heavy, hope you like the ride. Hope you like the ride. I don't need no luck, I don't need no guide, I just press that green, watch the numbers fly. You can flex fake charts, you can run your mouth, but your broker says you can't even cash it out. Now prints don't lie, your bag look heavy, hope you like the ride. Hope you like the ride. Oh, hope you like the ride. Hope you like the ride.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where everyone is panicking this morning because there is some red in the market. There is some blood in the water, and it feels as if the sharks are circling. So, of course, I'm going to be, I guess, your guide on this particular voyage through the potential shark-infested waters. So, of course, I'll be breaking down what's going on in the market. We can get into even a discussion of your individual equities, technical analysis, options analysis, all that good stuff. But to really get rocking with the show, as more and more people are coming in, we should kind of do a breakdown of the larger picture, get an idea of what in the world is going on. We do have some drama as it relates to the government. We have some interesting Comey stuff as it relates to the FBI, and apparently he's about to get arrested or something like that. We have some breaking economic news this morning: GDP, durable goods, initial jobless claims, and this is all kind of setting us up for most likely what's going to be a crazy day. I see easily a 50-point movement to either the upside or to the downside. I'll be explaining why as it relates to the SPX. Of course, we'll be looking at other things as well, of course. And then this is really kind of setting us up for quite a crazy trading session leading into tomorrow, where we're going to have an inflation report, and probably that's going to be a little bit of craziness. So I just want to put that out there for everyone of kind of the plan. It looks as if Rumble is having some encoding issues. Hang on. Come to YouTube. Rumble is currently down. All right. So I just wanted to get that set up. It looks like on the Rumble side, they are having a couple issues, 2 or 3. So, hey, if you are in YouTube and you are a YouTube original, be nice to the Rumble chatters today, because we are going to be their home away from home. It looks like they're going to have a little bit of a sleepover today. So be nice to them. They're coming in from Rumble right now. Here, hang on. Let me pin this chat. come to YouTube. Rumble streaming is currently down. All right, let me pin that comment just so everyone can see it as they're... All right, there we go. We got it. So like I said, if you are in YouTube, be nice to them. I know they're not your best friends, and I probably have had quite a bit to do with building up the animosity between the two sides, but maybe today we can extend a little bit of an olive branch and, tough out this technical storm together. So be nice. With all that being said, here's a little looky-see. Stock futures are, well, that is very much not true. They need to get this intern fired. S&P 500 futures decline for a third day as a once-hot AI play Oracle falls and yields are increasing. So here's a little looky-see at pre-market, basically starting at 4 a.m. SPY puke, Qs puke, Russell pukes, Bitcoin's puking. They are referring to some of these other plays. You have Oracle puking. You actually have a lot going the exact opposite way than you wanted to. How's NVIDIA looking? Yeah, across the board. Basically, I guess the Bears got up early this morning. They took a little bit of pre-workout. They hit the cardio session a little bit early, and they're feeling good. And they basically caught the Bulls on really sleeping. They caught them sleeping. So with this, I do want to remind you that just because we see blood in pre-market, the odds of the day being read are about 50-50. I've done an extensive amount of research of the pre-market movement related to where we're going to conclude at the end of the day, and it's about a 50-50. So just because you're seeing red here, that doesn't mean you automatically have to panic. Your odds, I'm telling you, are about 50-50. Now remember, we do have the interesting odds of the upside gap fill. There's a good chance at some point today the SPY returns all the way back up to yesterday's low value, 659.67, and there's even a decent chance of it going up to 661.1. Same thing in the Qs. Very high odds chance of hitting the previous low value. There's a literal gap in the chart. Very high odds that gets filled today. Is it a guarantee? No. So obviously you want to use some other filters, some other risk management, but that is something you should know. And then the same thing, still decent odds of hitting the previous close value. So with that, my personal opinion coming out of the gate is, yeah, I'm going to be mindful of the upside gap fill. Simultaneously, I'm going to be mindful of if 6,600 cannot hold, and I'm referring to SPX, there's pretty much a free fall of 50 points. So we're kind of either looking at a 40-point pump to the upside with those gap fills or a 50-point fall to the downside. I wish I could tell you which direction this is going to break. In reality, no one on this planet can. But what I can tell you is, especially because IV has been so low lately, that there's a good chance of whichever movement we have, it's going to be a sizable movement. So how can you use that? You might be thinking, okay, Matt, that's not useful at all. You're telling me the stock market can go up or down. Yeah, it can. And I understand on the surface level how that's not helpful. But if you look at the option setup, the gamma levels, the delta levels, and really what we see going on with IV, you can see this right here in the vol dashboard, you can actually get the sense that, oh no, whichever way we go going, there's a good chance that we really get going that way, which has been very different from the vol crush high extreme positive gamma we've recently seen. So in fact, it's actually extremely useful because if you have an idea of the direction, use your EMAs, your RSI, your MACD, whatever it is, use your own personal directional trend. And if you can identify that trend and then see a low risk way to enter that trend, there's a good chance that you're going to be able to really ride it. So today, more than the past 2 days, if anything, should be a bit exciting. So that's the setup. Things are red. I don't want people to panic. By the end of the day, there might be real reason to panic, at least in the short term, but also don't forget the amount of times that we've been through this together in the world's largest casino where things are looking rough in the morning and then they just recover all day. This can happen, and I'm telling you the odds of it are about 50-50. It's not one of these things of like, oh, like there's a small percent chance of a full recovery. No, we've seen this before, and then if anything, I would say today is really solidified at 50-50 because we're opening up at this key level, 6,600. If the market opens and the bulls defend it, we're looking for a 40-point bounce. If the market opens and the bulls don't defend it and the bears crack it, we're looking for a 50-point sell-off. It's pretty much that simple. Pretty much that simple. I'm looking for some good moves today. And ideally at market open, maybe we look at options flow, we let some of the price action play out. And then from there, we can get a better idea of what that direction is actually going to be. So with that in mind, if you missed it already, at 8:30, about 40 minutes ago, we did get some interesting data reports. GDP, it came in at 3.8. They were expecting 3.3. That is the gross domestic product, better than expected. You can see right here, core PCE prices 2.6, estimate 2.5, durable goods 2.9, and they were expecting a drop of 0.3. So that really beat. And then month over month, they got a 0.4 on the durable goods when they were expecting a drop of 0.1. And then with respect to initial jobless claims, coming in lower than expected, 218,000 when they were expecting 233,000. But remember, just generically, how we're kind of back to that upside down world, at least as it relates to the job market, the labor market. As things are strong, well, that's really not going to be putting pressure on the Fed to cut rates. As things are weak in the labor market, especially if inflation is coming down or at least going flat, well, that's going to actually increase the chances of a rate cut. So the fact that we just got a good jobs number is putting less pressure on the Fed to actually give us rate cuts, which is, like I said, a little bit of that upside down world type of a situation. So I just want to let you know that that stuff all came out at 8:30 this morning. And a little bit before that, we got a bit of a bombshell report. Justice Department officials race to charge James Comey as deadline looms. Prosecutors are moving forward days after President Trump ousted U.S. attorney who voiced doubts about charging former FBI director. So this guy's getting in trouble for potentially lying to Congress. Former FBI Director Comey expected to be indicted soon in Virginia federal court. Former FBI Director James Comey is expected to be indicted on criminal charges in the coming days in a federal court in Virginia. The expected indictment comes on the heels of a top prosecutor resigning under pressure after opposing the filing of charges against Comey, who for years has been a target of President Donald Trump's ire. So this might become a really big deal. It also might become nothing. So I just wanted to let you know that it's going down, let you know that it's potentially a thing, put it on your radar. And if it does become a thing, obviously we'll cover it more and more and more. And if it ends up being nothing, well, we'll just quickly forget about it and move on to the next piece of drama. White House tells agencies to prepare for job cuts in the shutdown. So we talked about this a little bit yesterday, but allegedly Trump and the administration right now not meeting with the other side, not meeting with the Democrats. And basically, as this is getting closer and closer, we might be heading towards a shutdown. And we're actually finding out if we do head towards the shutdown, Trump is more than willing to start cutting people. White House to pursue mass firings if government shuts down. Office of Management and Budget Director says reductions in employee count will be permanent if a deal isn't reached. So the heat in the kitchen is definitely getting a bit higher.
Remind us of the process. What exactly happens? I can't seem to remember the last time, even though it wasn't that long ago.
Right, exactly. It feels like we go through this process every few months or so, as this Congress has really preferred to do continuing resolutions, kicking the can down the road. Now, this marks a significant escalation in rhetoric and threat from the Trump administration, because normally we see those non-essential government workers furloughed but then brought back with back pay. Instead, we're seeing this memo from the OMB, which is directing agencies to come up with a list of workers whose activities are not paid for via mandatory funds or any new funding from the One Big Beautiful Bill, as well as to make a list of programs deemed inconsistent with the president's priorities. And these are the areas that could be on the chopping block. Now, OMB did not provide additional details. We don't know how big these layoffs could be, but it's important context to keep in mind that 6 out of 10 federal workers are typically deemed essential during shutdowns, which means that they keep working, while 4 out of 10 are told to basically stand by until Congress reopens the government. So, of course, this could have some very big economic implications here, Bonnie. But just for an update on how these negotiations are going, they're not going too well. We had been reporting that there was going to be this high-level meeting at the White House, actually today, between President Trump and Democratic leaders, including Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer. But then President Trump posted on Truth Social earlier this week saying that it's not worth his time to meet with them. And that has sort of derailed this process. I can say at the heart of this, the potential agreement could revolve around some changes when it comes to health care provisions. We know that Democrats want to see an extension or made permanent Obamacare tax subsidies that are set to expire. They also want to see some changes from the One Big Beautiful Bill, but it's really hard at this point to see that Republicans would make any changes to the president's signature.
So in classic U.S. political form, they're both coming in saying, we're not going to budge at all, which is, as they were kind of somewhat joking about at the start of the video, of like, hey, it's been a bit, but this is always how the government debate of budget and shutdowns always goes. So it seems as if right now this might become a bigger story. So once again, trying to put it on your radar so you're not taken by surprise. Also this morning, as of 8:29 a.m., U.S. deployed jets against Russian bombers, Russian military aircraft detected in Alaska air zone. So this is hot news as of the morning, and I don't think we're really majorly getting any updates on what's happening right now. Goolsby is talking. China launched a trade barrier probe into Mexico. Goolsby. So apparently something going on in the airspace above Russia as we speak. The U.S. sending up right here. U.S. deployed jets against Russian bombers. So this is coming out early this morning. Don't want anyone to get taken by surprise with that either. So various things to pay attention to. Already, I guess, shaping up to be a pretty crazy day. So at 8:30 a.m., we got durable goods coming in higher than expected. GDP coming in higher than expected. Initial jobless claims coming in lower than expected. These are all good numbers, which is putting less pressure on the Fed to give us a rate cut. And you can see how the market is reacting. We are getting hit. Because remember, we live in that upside down world of sometimes bad economic news is good for the market and good economic news is bad for the market. And we happen to be in one of those particular phases of monetary policy right now. I do want to let you know at 10 a.m. today, we're getting existing home sales. Yesterday, we got new home sales way better than expected. But really the star of the show is tomorrow morning, 8:30 a.m. We get the PCE report, the personal consumption expenditure. According to the Fed, that is the most important inflation report that they consider. So considering some of the jobs news and the economy news we got today, this one is very much going to be in focus once again an hour before the market opens tomorrow. With respect to individual companies, you might want to be paying attention to Costco after the market closes. We're not technically in earnings season, but Costco will be giving us their earnings once again after the market closes today. Also, with respect to individual equities, we got some movement on Intel. Intel is seeking an investment from Apple as part of its comeback bid. Remember, Intel and Apple a couple years ago were the best of buddies. Intel making all the processing chips for Apple, and it was allegedly a good match until they got a divorce and Apple said, nah, honey, we're making these in-house now. Ever since then, Intel's really been on a downward spiral. And then recently, with some of the announcements from Trump, the U.S. government getting involved with Intel, all of a sudden things are kind of shaping up. So this might be something for those of you with a long-term investment account, maybe a medium-term investment account, another feather in the cap of Intel, something to consider, but just in the effort of being transparent. I currently have no Intel myself. I just want to let you guys know, like, even though this seems like it's interesting, I have exposure to other forms. I have NVIDIA, I have ASML, I have Broadcom. I have already enough exposure to the semiconductor sphere. I actually have Apple as well, so just want to be transparent.
Let's bring now Bloomberg's Ryan Gould for more on that news. Congratulations on the scoop. Tell us what we need to know right now.
Yeah, I think this is clearly breaking dynamic, but these are early stage talks. I can report that Apple and Intel are in early discussions around a potential investment. Intel has reached out to the company about how ways they could work more closely together. This clearly comes on the back of NVIDIA's investment in Intel a few weeks ago, $5 billion. We saw earlier in the month, or maybe last month, that SoftBank as well has pledged $2 billion to invest in Intel. So this is part of its comeback bid. This is kind of Intel saying it's proactive. It's here to really shore up its balance sheet. It wants help. And I think it's really showing the U.S. government, which is one of Intel's largest shareholders, that it's there and it's ready to explore its options.
I am curious, Orion, about the idea of sort of who's nudging who on this, or if you have any insight into that. Also, I noticed the story that you reported didn't actually have an actual number. When we talk about multi-billion, are we talking about a $5 billion investment or $20 billion? Do we have any sense of just how big this could potentially be?
At this point, Romain, no. But I think if you just base off what we've seen with NVIDIA, with SoftBank, I mean, if you're talking about someone with the balance sheet that Apple has, and Apple's already pledged to invest $600 billion in the United States over a 4-year period in part of its in partnership with the Trump administration. I think you're looking at something that will probably be in the billions. But again, these are early stage talks, and as to what that looks like, we don't know yet.
Yeah.
I think could this be a chips deal? Could this be manufacturing? Could this be packaging? This could be one of them among many things.
All right, Ryan Gould of Bloomberg News.
All right, gives you a little bit of an idea. And like I said, even with the market getting absolutely clocked this morning, we are seeing Intel actually slightly in the green. So a bit of news there, and also a bit adjacent. NVIDIA's investment in OpenAI will be in cash, and most will be used to lease NVIDIA chips. This is absolutely hilarious as a business technique. Think about this. NVIDIA giving money to OpenAI on the idea and the concept and the contract that then they have to use that money that they just gave them to give it back to NVIDIA. So it's kind of just a financial circle jerk of sorts. With NVIDIA's massive planned investment in OpenAI, the chipmaker will get equity in the AI startup and will earn revenue at the same time. OpenAI is leasing NVIDIA's graphics processing units, allowing the company to pay for the costly processors over time. Investors are concerned about the circular nature of this deal, goosing up everyone's earnings and everybody's numbers. Yeah, they're goosing it up. Like I said, it's a financial circle jerk that the bots and the algos on the market are going to like, because it's going to make, it's padding. They're padding their numbers. Hey, we'll give you money, but then you have to spend that money with us. That's 100% what's going on. And I'm not saying it's necessarily good or bad. It kind of depends on your perspective and your time frame and how you approach the financial markets. But I just want you to be aware of what in the world is actually going on. Now, if you haven't already, sign up for the newsletter. It is 100% free. Every single Sunday, your email inbox will get a breakdown of what's going on in the market, cheat sheet for earnings, cheat sheet for all the major macroeconomic events. Remember, tomorrow we have the inflation report and consumer sentiment. And then most useful is the seasonality of each individual day, which brings me to today. Over the past 27 years worth of data, this is what your equity curve would look like if you bought it open and sold at close, as in it is jagging. For a period there, it was bullish, then neutral, then bearish, then neutral, then bullish, now neutral. This all nets out to absolutely nothing. So from a seasonal perspective, this is not dominated by the bulls or the bears. Sometimes the bulls win it, sometimes the bears win it. It just so happens that Thursday, September the 25th, this trading day of the year, is not seasonally dominated. But I do want to let you know that tomorrow is a bit more bullish, kind of interesting going into that whole PCE report. So sign up for that, macrosoutlookals.com. It's in the description of the video. And a little bit of extra breaking news just for those of you who didn't watch the update video, which first of all, demerit. I know many of you in here did not watch my breakdown of Tesla from yesterday. Very important stuff in there in terms of what levels you should be paying attention to. But anyway, in that, I covered another piece of news that we're getting from FINRA, that pattern day trading might very soon be a thing of the past for many retail traders. Day trading is about to get easier for small retail investors. The Financial Industry Regulation Authority, aka FINRA, has approved amendments that would replace the long-standing $25,000 minimum equity rule for pattern day trading. We just need approval from the SEC. So right now, you can only do, I guess technically only 3 before you violate the rule. Pattern day trades, as in getting in and getting out in the exact same calendar day every rolling 5 days. You can only do that 3 times. By the time you hit your 4th one, you're going to be breaking some rules. Right now, that's at 25,000. There's a good chance that this is going to get lowered to whatever the basic margin requirement is, which I believe is around 2,000. So are they going to get completely rid of it? Most likely not, but the number itself is going to dramatically drop. So right now, it's already good on FINRA's side. They're going to bounce it off the SEC. From everything I'm hearing from the grapevine of Wall Street, there's a very good chance that this is it sounds like they're just crossing their T's and dotting their I's, and they're just getting everything ready to go. It doesn't really seem like many people are pushing back against this at all, because retail traders want it, market makers want it. There's really no one currently, to my understanding, standing up saying, hey, we don't think that this is a good thing. Pretty much Wall Street wants it, retail wants it, and at this point, the regulator perspective, they can't come up with a good reason to not have it, or I should say, to keep it around. So just want to put that out there. So that one most likely going to be pretty soon. The other thing that might interest you is there's a very good chance in a couple quarters that instead of just having a Friday expiration for the Mag 7, Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Nvidia, Amazon, those ones, there's a good chance that for the options, the market's going to open up and have a Monday, Wednesday, and Friday expiration. So that's another thing that you should put on your radar. That one's going to take a little bit longer because, yeah, there's a bit of pushback. But right now, actually, the NASDAQ is leading that charge to get Monday and Wednesday options expiration for the Mag 7 on top of the already existing Friday one. So just another thing for you guys to be knowledgeable of. All right, bringing it back to today because we have about 5 minutes until that market goes dingity ding ding ding. Right now, the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF, is set to basically open up down 0.45%, the Q's 0.6%, and the Russell 1%. Early this morning, things are looking a little bit rough. Oracle's really getting hit, Nvidia's getting hit, things are getting hit. Now, with that, the SPX level is right at 6606. Remember that, 6606. We are basically right here, right where my cursor is. We're opening up somewhere in this range. I cannot express this enough how important this level of 6,600 is. You can see on the chart, this is a major gamma level, as in it's going to be a lot of support. Now, if it cracks, there's a chance that we basically free fall all the way down to 6,550. The SPY equivalent with that would basically be $5 left. So if you're looking at the SPY right now, that would be putting us at 653 and some change. It's about $5 in the SPY. Every 10 points in SPX is roughly $1 in the SPY, just for some rough math there. Anyway, we're opening up that big support. No one on this planet can tell you will this support hold or not. What I can tell you is if it does hold, we have a real shot of bouncing all the way back up to not only yesterday's low at 6621, but also yesterday's closing value of 6638, and then obviously the transition zones up here. That would be your bull case in the event that this level is defended right at market open. However, if this is broken through and the bulls don't defend it and the bears become very aggressive, yeah, you have a little bit of a pit stop at 6580, but really you're looking at 6550. I, for some reason, don't think I marked that out. I should have. I must have accidentally deleted it. But yeah, there is going to be a little bit of a temporary level to watch in the event of a breakdown right here. Let me throw that up on the chart. But basically, we're scheduled to open roughly where my cursor is. If we're probably going to test 6600 right out of the gate. And from there, if it is not defended by the bulls and we break, I'd be looking for a fall to 5580. And that's a bit of a smaller level. And then from there, my next target would be 6550. So those are the key option levels, psychological levels, technical levels. As I always do, I'm marking out all those levels for you. You have the transition zone, you have the previous high, low, close. But right now, I know one of the common questions is going to be like, is it going to be bullish or bearish? I cannot tell you guys. No one knows this. No one on the planet can tell you, are the bulls about to buy or the bears about to sell? They cannot tell you because think of it. The market is just one giant collective made up of millions, if not billions of different decisions. And we'll find out what the collective is about to do. Obviously, we're going to have a better idea when we can see a bit of options flow. But really what I can tell you is, especially here, coming back to the vol dashboard, vol is picking up, as in when we get going, there's a real good shot that we get going. I think we have potential of 40 points to the upside and potential of 50 points to the downside today. So it's more of, can you identify the trend early and then ride that trend throughout the day and then just play with reasonable levels of risk and reward. I personally believe that's the best way to approach this. Very quickly, I want to show you some of the interesting flow that we're getting from Spot Gamma. Obviously, shout out to them. Look at this. I care about the buy to open and the sell to open. Buy to open. People really betting against IWM. They rolled it down. So this is for October 17th. They just rolled this position of puts, long puts, from 232 down to 230. 60,000 of those bad mamma jammas. Something to pay attention to. Also, on the SPX side, we had buy to open some calls for this Friday, but then also puts for October. So short-term bullishness there, probably betting on that PCE report, I guess. But when you're looking at the Octobers, there's people betting against it. And then there's a big position betting against the S&P 500, but that's all the way out in March of 2026. So I just want to let you know some of the updates and the positioning from, I guess, some of the craziness that we saw yesterday. But overall, a bit more bearish than anything else with respect to the overall market. All right, you guys know the plan. As the market gets going, I'm going to show you the key levels. We're going to be breaking it down in real time. My plan out of the gate personally is to kind of do nothing. Just sit here, wait, be patient, and see if we can see ideal setups. I personally, going into this on a 0 DTE basis, I am neutral. I could easily see support being found right at market open and we pop. I could also see that key level breaking and then we drop $5. So right now, I'm not personally going in with a bias. My major bias is I'm expecting a decent move. So my goal is just to get on the right side of that trend. And then that's how I plan on making money today. Not all trading days are built the same. Some trading days going into it, it's very evident that it's going to be a nothing day. There's too much positive gamma, vol's too low, and we're just simply not moving, and it's a theta burn type of a day. This is a bit different. Today, we have the opportunity for a real move, and the name of the game is, can we identify that move? Now, before we get going, shout out to Bookmap. Remember, use that link pinned to the top of chat if you want to get the best deal. This is where I track all the sitting buy orders, all the sitting sell orders, and then, of course, also if you want to trade with someone else's money, Take Profit is currently the best deal. Use that code Goonie to get 40% off. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, we are open. We are open, and it looks connection restored. Good. Did my data drop like it did yesterday? Let me check out some of this stuff. No, my data appears to be going. I have no positions on right now. Apparently, I did lose about $700 though yesterday. The Tradeify accounts are back up into their fighting weight class. A little bit down on Apex right here, but let's see. With a shrewd trade or two, I might be able to get those ones back into the green today. All right, let's see. Let's zoom in here. Cool. First minute, clearly to the downside. People didn't want to buy that out of the gate. I cannot express this enough. This is the test. You're watching it in real time. The Bulls, the Bears, who wins this fight right here? 6,600. It is a gigantic gamma level right here. Can I zoom in one more level just so you guys can see it? We're at it right now. Is this going to hold or not? Is it going to be a little bounce off of 590? These people collect their put profits and we bounce right back up? I don't know. And no one on this planet can tell you. That's the point of patience. That's the point of the setup, where can you identify the trend? And then once you identify the trend, is there an opportunity for you to get in with low risk and see if you can ride a continuation of said trend? In reality, I think trading can be boiled down to that in its most simple form. So I have some alerts for breakouts and breakdowns. As you already heard, MicroStrategy, I think, just broke down. Yeah, MicroStrategy breaking down across the board. I have a bunch of alerts already set up for us of breakouts, breakdowns. For example, Tesla, will it break down below, 423? It looks like coin is breaking down. Jesus, that's not so good. But now it does have this upside gap fill. Coin showing a bit of weakness there. All right, Oracle about to break down. Palantir, it took out the last four lows, but it's right now holding decently. Avago is about to kiss its breakdown level. Apple's actually somewhat green today. Nvidia, fake out breakout. Meta, it's pushing its recent lows as well. Microsoft, same thing. We're kind of in that danger territory, but also you could argue we're just at support. And when you come to support, guess what? 50-50 shot of a bounce off of it. That's why we call it support. When you come to support or resistance, you have to just be patient and wait there. Either we're breaking out or we're breaking down. I know that there's many people, especially in the influencing fear, which is the dumbest thing to say, who they try to predict as if like you could accurately know, are you going to break out or not? No, folks, I'm here to tell you that that's just not how it works. In this particular world, when you come to these key levels, which you can identify through technicals, psychological levels, and most importantly, option levels, when you get to those levels, you just have to kind of wait around and see. This idea of trying to predict the breakout or the breakdown, it's silly. You're going to be chasing your tail all of the time, and you're not going to be enjoying your trading journey. You're not going to be enjoying it. Oh, geez. Oracle getting clapped, right? Is it going to be a triple bottom? Or are we breaking down? We're about to find out. Apple, the only green play. Jesus, the whole market getting smoked. Whole market getting smoked right now. All right. We're only 3 minutes in. I will, before you answer this question, I'm going to show you the options flow. Granted, it's not much. It's only 3 minutes. SPY, flat, down, back up. Mag 7, what are people doing? Mag 7, as of now, granted, only 3 to 4 minutes in, they are selling the Mag 7. Game of prediction. I don't think you should ever be trading on prediction, but hey, I also think maybe it's something fun to do early in the morning. Your best thoughts. Do you think today is going to rebound and you're trying to buy the dip? Are you BTFO or BTFD, buy the effing dip, BTFD? Or are you sell STFR, sell the effing rip? Which one are you? BTFD or STFR today? Man, that's a lot of letters and a lot. Are you buying this dip or are you selling the rip? Which one? What camp are the viewers in today? Which camp are the viewers in today? This happened on Monday too, then at 10 a.m. reverse green. Yeah, but remember, Jay, that one example is not good statistics. That's one example, one counter examples does not make, I mean, it's valid data for sure, but that doesn't make high confidence. That's not real statistics. All right, so out of the gate, we did just get the 5-minute Orbo breakdown. Remember, Orbo, opening range, breakout, breakdown. First 5 minutes have passed. The SPY and the Qs have both broken to the south side. You have the Mag 7 going down. You have the SPY kind of flat. And then where are you on SPX? SPX, it tried to hold 6,600, got hit, ripped back up, got rejected. Not so good. It looks like the bulls could not push it back over. It looks as if the bears, as of now, did defend that level. So we're watching this. Remember, target number 1, if you feel bearish, is 6580. Target number 2 would be, and the main one of the day is 6550. 6550. Okay. Holy shit. Right. Ooh. All right. I'm doing a little bit of management myself. Unfortunately, it's that time of the day because things are not looking the most ideal. They're not looking the most ideal. Let's see if I could get limit out on some of these without getting too completely messed up. Let's see. Ah, dude, BITX, that one always just fucks me up. Edit order. All right. We had that Orbo breakdown. Clear rejection there. Dude, I cannot. All right. What did I just... Okay. Did I get out of what I needed to get out of? I did. I did. Do I want to hold on to CoreWeave? CoreWeave, I have time on CoreWeave. Apple's green. You guys were saying that Intel is also still green. Interesting. Intel is up 2.8%. Intel is up 2.8%. Interesting. 5-minute bearish, 10-minute bearish, 30-minute bearish, 4-hour is actually now bearish. I just got a breakdown alert on BITX, which means Bitcoin's not doing so hot. Yeah. BITX, not doing the best right now, homies. Not doing the best right now. Wow. Vomiting out of the gate. Mag 7 Delta down, now going a little flat, but getting hit this morning. S&P 500 was flat, got hit, a little bit of a bounce, but jagged if anything. Nasdaq flat, IWM up then down. How's IWM doing today? Just getting hit. Jesus. How's the daily chart? All right, so the SPY, we do have a gap down and a puke. Obviously, you have some technical support right there at 654.30 on the Qs, a gap down. You have some support at 584, and then on the Russell, gap down, I would argue actually support at 236 and change. So all of these things have gap down. All of them have gap down. All right. Stupid alerts are going off when they shouldn't. Bitcoin, Jesus. Vol has to be expanding like no other right now. Vol is. Hang on, let's check out the VIX. Yeah, Vol's picking up, team. Vol is picking up. Let me get into my account, web trader, just in case I see a good trade that I want to take. Come on. All right, we'll get that loaded up just so I can fire when need be.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
All right. Oh, something's wrong with that one. Hang on, one of these didn't trade, which it was supposed to.
Order filled.
Fuck, and now I missed it. Shit. One of my Tradeify accounts, this one didn't trade. I forgot to turn it on. That's 100% on me. Anyway, Icarus just went short at 64, locked in the one profit at 50. Moving the stop now to break even, and we basically just have a runner. We have a runner. We'll see how this goes. I'll put it at 400. Remember, high odds chance of this bouncing back and knocking it out for break even, but that's it. And the reason I trade this way is because every so often, once a week, once every 2 weeks, you catch a nice big runner that makes it all worth it. So Icarus went short at 64. I thought it was going to fire a little bit earlier, but hey, it is what it is. It still got the profit anyway. And at this point, what's the ATR? 16. Right. Okay. You know what we're going to do? We're going to do 1 point above. We'll see. And what I can do is with my stop. Now, this is a free lotto ticket play. Worst case scenario is I make the $300. Sick. But what I can do is if it keeps going this way, I could just keep moving my stop down and keep kind of trailing it and that type of a vibe. VIX is just going. Tesla, fuck. Did Tesla get the breakdown? I think it did. Do I have to cut? I do. Fuck. Oh, shit. All right. Son of a gun. All right. I'm just going to go flat on this. That's a bummer. All right. Let me update. Okay. If you are in the Discord, I just made quite a few changes to the swing position, so you might want to pay attention to that because the overall market's dragging things down. So obviously I had to manage some of these individual equities. All right. Where are we at? How am I looking? I could move my stop to 50. I'm up almost 1,000 per account. Not a bad deal. Oh, is this going to snap? Do I move my stop to here? Probably. Do I move my stop to there? Tesla getting hit, dude. This is turning very rapidly into a bloodbath. Look at that puke. 5-minute bearish, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, all bearish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour, all bearish. As I told you, 80 is one level. I wouldn't be surprised if a little pop here, but remember, I'm telling you, my major target of the day is 6550. Why? Because right here, I could see a giant gamma node. Then you have the spot gamma implied one day. 6550 seems like a pretty evident play. But remember, 80 is also a play, so don't be surprised if there's a little dancing around here. My base case would be puke here, dance a little bit, maybe a little bit of reversionary bounce, and then if that fails, I'd be looking at 6550. Once again, that's for day trading, that's for scalp trading, that's for intraday traders. That's not really commentary on swing trading whatsoever. Swing trading, you could probably see it better here. Jesus. You're looking at 24,390, and then your reach is 250. Golly. Do I just want to take this money now? I don't want the unrealized to be too much of a pain in the ass. I feel silly that I accidentally didn't trade on this one account. I just didn't toggle it on. Is it coming for me? Remember, most of my runners, they get stopped out like this. That's pretty much the base case. Which, whatever. I locked in $500 per account. I have 25 accounts. That's 12 grand locked in right there. I'm not going to cry about it. Not much, at least. Not much. All right. And now I have it set up properly the way that I should. So this account should be trading right there. So 563 locked in. Sick. Cool, cool, cool. Cool, cool, cool. And now, no surprise. Look at right where the market's reacting. Folks, these aren't just magic levels. This isn't just arbitrarily picking 80. This is because all you have to do is say, oh, wow, where are the big levels at? Oh, this is interesting. Something just changed. Someone made some moves here. They dumped the 80 position and they rolled it down to 50. And then there's a put credit spread, it appears, somewhere down here between 50 and 45 and 40, somewhere in this 10-point region. They rolled it. Whoa. Okay. So the person who was defending 80, you could see it just kind of disappeared there. That gamma level is gone. Whoever this was, they left the game, folks. They left the game. Remember, a lot of the times in the market, not only should you think of it in terms of probabilities, think about it of if-then statements. If event A, then look for X. If event B, then look for Y. If this does not hold, the fact that this player disappeared is a little bit concerning, but if this is not bought and pushed back up to 6.6, if we start to keep following, then it's actually kind of getting interesting for a call out to this 10-point region right here. And what I find so interesting about this 10-point region is all of this structure, all of that structure. That's a lot. We're talking about 99th percentile type plays. So just because I'm saying that doesn't mean you just arbitrarily like, okay, I'm going to rip it now. No, that's not how you should handle it. Of course, it's always, can you get in on this potential failure with low risk? Can you get into this potential bounce with low risk? For example, if you were feeling really bullish today for whatever reason, and you're like, okay, I'm waiting for the puke, and you're like, if your thesis is that dips are to be bought, well, right here on this first sign of bullishness, you could be risking the recent low. You're risking about 2 to 3 points. Yeah, that risk to reward's good. And remember, this could as easily as it could bounce, it could also completely vomit. So as long as you recognize that you pretty much have a 50-50 shot of it going in your direction, and yeah, there's some ways to skew that a little bit here and there, it's all about your risk. Can you manage your risk properly? So if you bought that dip, I don't dislike it. As long as you are good with your risk, it bounced a little bit. CoreWeave is already bouncing the fuck back up. Jesus Christ. All right, well, I made money on that, but that was stupid on my part to get out early. I made a couple thousand, I think either 3 or 6,000. I locked in my core weave, and I was going to wait for a point to re-enter with the market being the way the market is. But I'm not necessarily, I mean, I don't think anyone should be sold on this. I think if we can get above and hold above 6,600, that becomes very interesting for the upside gap fill. It becomes very interesting for hitting the previous closing value. However, if we fail before 6,600 or even at 6,600, and then this doesn't hold, we're talking about a 30 plus point sell off all the way down here. And in terms of which will happen, which is more likely, I'm telling you this, no one can tell you. No one can tell you. You have to react accordingly with low risk. That's how you win this game, is continually taking low risk, high reward setups and just managing it properly. I truly believe the biggest differentiator between a retail trader and a professional trader is not their trading, it's really risk management. That's going to be the thing that separates you. Mateo, what's going on? My money is going red before my eyes. Yeah, this is what, remember, sometimes the market, we were kind of spoiled recently with thinking the market only goes up. Even this, when we had some red days, it was quickly bought, and that might happen again. We could easily just bounce pretty much right here and go up again. But yeah, remember, the market doesn't only go up, and this is why you, surprise, surprise, have to be mindful of your risk. You should always be mindful of your risk, because if you're not, that's the exact time that you're going to get blown out. So I was waiting for this. I'm actually surprised the Bears won so handedly right out of the gate here. They pushed it all the way down. I was able to take a little advantage of that, and I had this short play on NQ, which I already locked in. I took the breakdown, locked in, and then basically ended up getting out at the same value right before this recovery. And that's why I was protecting it, because you never know when you're going to get these types of recoveries. Now, if things end up being very strong, yeah, I could flip bullish. If this pump ends up failing, yeah, I could go back to being bearish. All I can tell you is that I successfully locked in $500 in 25 accounts, as in already what, 12K. So just calm, cool, collected. Don't try to predict who's winning, who's losing. Dude, core weave is going. Jesus. Wow, core weave. What a fucking pump that one has going. In the face of all this. Well, Tesla bounced a little bit from 24 to 28. Let's see. The size of this bounce and really the next pullback is going to be telling. Is the next pullback in the SPY going to be above or below the 944? Above or below the 944 low? That's going to be the telling thing. Because right here, we just took out some of these recent highs if you look at the wicks on this bounce. So interesting. Overall, trending down. But the question here, and we're about to be doing this, a little bit of this pullback right now as we speak. The question here is, how deep is it going to be? How deep is the pullback gonna be? And really watch this 80 level. Actually, speaking of that, no. Okay, whatever. I'm not putting this order in. I'm just getting ready just in case. Actually, fuck it. We'll rip it. All right. Average fill 860. 960 is going to be the target. In at 860, trying to get out at 960. Really what I'm trying to do is play the retest of this 80 level, which was circa market open. This gamma level here, a little bit of a positive gamma node right here at 80. But as we're getting trading, you can see that that is quickly disappearing. As we are seeing the options flow, it sold, that disappeared. Granted, it did just bounce. The Mag 7 sold, try to recover, but someone just hit it at 951. Why? Apple took a bit of a hit right there. Broadcom took a little bit of a hit. Coin, no. CoreWeave is looking bullish. Hood, tiny hit. Microsoft, tiny hit. Not MicroStrategy, not Meta, not Netflix. NVIDIA took a hit right there at 951. Oracle was recovering, took a little bit of a hit. Palantir took a hit at 951. Tesla, not a big hit, but definitely trending down. So something just happened in the Mag 7 that people were not fans of. Not fans of. Matt, do you feel like there's such thing as a dead cat? I mean, in the sense that people, that's just how they refer to a chart pattern in which we sell off, there's a little bit of a bounce, and then continue selling off. So it's just more of explaining, I mean, kind of like defining the characteristics of a particular chart setup. So does that chart setup exist? Yeah. In the event that this were to break and puke, you could call this a dead cat. We sold, we had a lethargic bounce, and then we sold. So it's just a colloquial way to refer to that exact structure of a failed bounce. Other people might call it mean reversion. Other people might call it a downward A, B, C, D. There's going to be a lot of names for the exact same thing, but this concept of do I believe in it? It's literally just a way people try to explain a certain chart setup. Like, I don't think there's anything like too special to it. Remember, if you want to use this and see where the sitting sell orders are, which there's a lot up here at 68. If you want to see where the sitting buy orders are, this is all called Bookmap. And if you want the best deal, you could use it. It's pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. There are many different data packages, annual, monthly, what you want to do. I use it obviously for NQ and ES. I use it for futures trading, but just so you know, that's what I choose to use it for. You could obviously use it for a larger array of things. It's cool. The heat map shows you the sitting sell orders above. The heat map shows you the sitting buy orders below. The yellow line is the point of control. That's the price that most volume has been exchanged at. And then if you zoom out, you could find VWAP. We just happen to be very far away from VWAP right now. Yeah, VWAP is all the way up here at 24586 or something. That's this white line. So kind of a cool visual tool. The heat map is sitting buy orders, sell orders. The dots on this screen show you orders that have actually hit the tape. Aggressive buy orders, aggressive sell orders. So like, for example, these green dots, the buyer was the aggressor, as in it traversed the spread and hit the ask and bought and bought and bought. And we ran right all the way up till there was a lot of sell side liquidity, got rejected, found support at the point of control, try to bounce at the point of control. And right now we're literally going between 460, the point of control, and then all this sell side liquidity at 477. So a very cool tool. I like it. I think it's good for day trading. I think it's good for scalp trading. Personally, as a swing trader as well, I haven't found the most utility for it as a swing trader, but hey, maybe you're smarter than I am. But let us never forget that BWAH leads BWER, BWER leads BWER, BWH, and BWER, BWH is where the dark side lies. What? R2D2. What's going on, brother? All right, looks like this might be potentially failing. How did this not lock in yet? Well, that's a bit of a bummer. All right, we're at 80. So right now, we do have a lower high. Our first high right here, 934, and this is all specific to the 1 minute. Next high is 951. Next high is 55. So we do have lower highs. We do have lower lows. Price action right now is bearish. Momentum, bearish, 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 bearish. Options flow, bearish. SPY, a little bit more bullish. So not everything is lining up to be purely bearish. The large players are net selling the New York Stock Exchange this morning. As of right now, I am not necessarily thinking the odds of this reversal are the highest. What time is it? It is 58. Okay, can I do this properly this time? Can I do this properly? What time is it? 58. Okay, so we have 90 seconds. 90 seconds until the turn of the hour. We're putting in that 30-minute Orbo. We're going to find out We're going to be finding out today, folks. We're going to be finding out today, folks. Golly. What time is it? I'm feverishly waiting here. Feverishly waiting. Why can I not improve the lighting on my computer? Something's going on with my Mac. Shit. Oh, golly. Oh, golly. My computer is so dark. Right. I just want to get all this ready in case I need to remove that. Okay. All right. What is today? Today is the 25th. All right, we are looking. Oh, a little bit of a pop at the turn of the hour here. All right, I'm going to put in a pending order.
Order submitted.
I don't know if that's the order I want, though. I'm not in a position currently, if anyone is morbidly curious. What I'm trying to do is not be a fucking dipshit. All right, Mag 7, slowly but surely trending down. S&P 500 going the other way. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour bearish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour bearish with respect to momentum. Obviously, with respect to just price action, we might be getting our first higher low potentially, but also we're definitively seeing these lower highs. So really, we're watching this, not only this key level, but also maybe the technical breakdown. So here's my base case. If this is a higher low and we bounce here, look for it to take out the high at 51. Then you have a real shot of testing 6,600. And then from there, if there's a continuation, you have the upside gap fill at 6,622. However, if this does not hold, if the gamma level, the initial gamma level at 80, and now this technical trend does not hold, you're looking for this overall triangle, the lower highs and the higher lows, to break and vomit all the way to down here. And now you just have to wait and be patient and see which one either does or doesn't happen. If I could tell you which way definitively this is going to break, I wouldn't be doing this show. I'd be a multi-billionaire. And the point in saying that is the fact that no one can definitively tell you which way it's going to break. Because remember, whether it breaks up or down is dependent on people who are about to trade. So unless you know in aggregate what everyone who's about to trade is about to do, and you know that net differential, you have no idea. You have no idea which way this is going to go or not. Little bit of a trend line push here. The interesting level is going to be 94. Does it break? Does it double top? This is the higher low. And at this point, we might be going from a higher low, and breaking 594 would actually confirm a higher high. So we would be going from a little bit of a morning bearish trend to maybe the old 10 a.m. reversal. The old 10 a.m. reversal. Here's a look at options flow. Mag 7 showing a little bit of life. And like I said, this whole time ever earlier, you had the SPY, people buying that dip on the SPY. You had people buying that dip on the SPY. Will it hold? Will it hold? Will it hold? Tesla looking just like the SPY, a potential higher low. Apple, Tesla, Coin, Oracle, Palantir's looking decent. Nvidia has a good intraday trend. So does Palantir. They're red relative to yesterday's close, but as a day trader, you don't care about that. As a swing trader, you might care about that, but we're just waiting like a sniper. We're waiting for that perfect opportunity. I currently have no scalp position, no day trading position. I have a pending order just in case we get a volatile movement here. I don't want to be caught flat-footed, but we'll see. We'll see. We're getting close. A little bit of a potential trend line breakout. What's going on here? What's going on here? What? Are we making the move? We're making the move for that high. We might be getting a little bit of a trend shift from bearish to bullish. This is technically a higher low. Are we going to take it out, though? That's the real question. Are we going to take it out? 5 minute? Still some distance to go to even test that 50 EMA. Same thing on NQ. So even though intraday from market open, this looks kind of like a W, a higher low. SPY just kissed it. SPX did take it out. SPX did take it out. So potential trend reversal. Bearish trend to potential new bullish trend. This is the fact that we took out that high means we have a higher high. And clearly here at 958 compared to 944, that is a higher low. So initially lower highs and lower lows to now higher highs and higher lows. Obviously, this is all very hyper specific to the 1 minute time frame. Obviously, you would want to do this type of an analysis to whatever time frame you deem to be the most important. And in reality, this is just kind of setting us up for an interesting test of the almighty important level of 6,600. It's all going to come down to this. Can the bulls break above and push above? That sets up the upside gap fill of 6,622. If they fail at this level, well, guess what? We're coming back down to 6,580 most likely. And because I have no idea who's going to be doing what and how they're going to be doing it, I am sitting around waiting. We don't need to rush anything. We don't need to rush it. Calm, cool, collected. George W., do you just mean a double bottom, Gary? It's kind of funny how many different names there are for different things. And I think a lot of people like to call it something else just to feel special. But yeah, I mean, what did I hear the other day? That someone is trying to brand gaps in the chart, like daily gaps, as an RTH, a regular trading hour liquidity void. Like, what? Call it a gap. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of people who are trying to make themselves seem real fancy about things. When in reality, it's just a gap. I mean, I guess they're technically both right, but it's a little humorous to me when people, like, they come up with such a dramatic sounding name, an RTH liquidity void. Okay. I guess I was taught it as a gap, and that doesn't make one of them right or wrong. It's just a point of vernacular, I guess. You saw the same shit yesterday? Yeah. An RTH liquidity void. Like, I think we should spend more time in here coming up with like really cool names for things. Like, okay, instead of calling this a double bottom, like what would be a better name? Walker Texas Ranger, like a Chuck Norris reversal, a Chuck Norris dip. Walker Texas Ranger. W. I'm W. www. Should we call it the internet? Just www dot? Like, I think we should, instead of focusing on trading and statistics and learning about options and flow and fundamental breakdowns, let's scratch all of that. BBL, a double bottom, we'll call it B. Like, we could just make up shit, and people, like, as long as it sounds smart, that's what people love, man. As long as you sound smart with all of it, people are like, hell yeah, dude. That's what I trade. Maybe it has to sound a little bit more nerdy, though. Like, because I think that's what's interesting about the RTH liquidity void. Is like, it just sounds like fancy schmancy, you know? It sounds real fancy schmancy. That's what I need in my life. More fancy. Black hole spectral. Double bottom. Synergistic pressure. Yeah, just like make shit up and people are like, God, I gotta buy that guy's course. When it's just, it's almost as if a lot of the Furu guru space in this, like, obviously this world, it's just like, who can regurgitate well-known shit but just make it sound complicated and special? Like, that's what I always fucking crack up about, of all the people trading inverted value gaps, fair value gaps, Judas swings, like all that shit, all those dipshits from the ICT community. It's just, it's reverse spark notes. It's really just, how can I overcomplicate the concept of support and resistance? Like, it's truly the best way I could possibly explain to anyone who doesn't know who ICT is imagine how long it took you to learn about support and resistance. Yeah, you're like, oh, about like 60 seconds. All you have to do is look at previous highs and lows and see if the market reacts there in the future. And you're right. That's all you have to do. But now imagine if I pitched that to you in a way that took hundreds of hours to learn. It truly is a reverse spark note situation. Like, let's just take the most simple concepts, take hours to explain it, and then make it really convoluted sounding and special sounding, and then sell it in a class. Yoda the Space, Kermit's final words: bois leads you to brr, brr leads you brr bois, and brr bois is where the dark side lies. I could be misquoting. Shout out R2D2. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Folks, this isn't just a W. This is a gamma void with a positive delta influence into a vol crush. Everyone should know that. This isn't a W bottom. This is vol crush into a gamma support. Everyone should know that. This is an expanding vol crush into gamma support in the Orbo. In Orbo, I'm trying to put it all together now. It's the Orbo. Like, it just gets so fucking stupid. It really, really does. All right. Are we ripping back up to that upside gap fill? It surely looks like it, folks. This is why we mark these levels out. As I said, even before the market opened, we're watching this level. We're watching this level. Here's your classic Orbo vol crush into the gamma support, leading to the breakout to the, I don't even know. Like, it's just regurgitating bullshit on bullshit on bullshit. It's like, it's way more difficult to make it sound fancy than it is. It's a key technical level. It's a key psychological level. It's a key options level. I don't know what to tell you besides the fact that it's a fucking key level in all reality. Key level, pay attention to it. We took it out. We made a fresh intraday high, and this is setting us up for the statistically likely upside gap fill, aka the RTH liquidity void, or call it a fucking gap. I don't know, man. Call it what you need to call it. That's all on you. But anyway, 6622 is the low from yesterday, which would be that upside gap fill. There's no way that they get the upside gap fill and then dump it on everyone, right? There's no way that the $1 billion notional value of call buyers are going to ride it up to the upside gap fill and then take their profits and dump the delta. They would never do that, right? They would never do that. That would be crazy talk. There is no way in God's green earth that all these 0 DTE call buyers at 946 starting at 9:46. The 0DT call buyers is the green line, by the way. There is no way. What time did this start? It started at 9:46-ish. 9:46-ish. Okay. There's no way they let it play down to a key level. They started buying calls, then started buying more calls. No way they're targeting 6,600 followed by 6,622. There's no way whatsoever that these guys would just dump it on us for no reason at those levels. That'd be crazy talk. That'd be straight up lunacy, if you ask me. Straight up lunacy. Honestly, we've seen bigger ones than that. This is only at $1 billion right now. We've seen more impressive plays. Come on, pump those numbers up. Put calls. Yeah, you can see right there. The green line is the calls. The light blue line, the teal line are puts. You can see starting at 9:46 and then catching a second wave at 9:58 at the turn of the hour, the old 10 a.m. reversal. You can see that we had a, oh golly, wave 1 and wave 2 of just a bunch of call buying, calling most likely to open. Theoretically, it could be buying to close, but regardless, it is adding positive delta. And simultaneously, you're seeing puts being sold. Same thing. Probably sold to close, but might be sold to open. You don't know. We'll find out. Whoa, someone just splashed the pot right there in real time. That was crazy. Someone just smacked it with a bunch of calls. No way, Jose. No way, Jose. Are they just targeting this level here? They wouldn't do that to you guys. They wouldn't do that to you guys. I'm smart to make a number go up. Hey, that's the name of the game. That's the name of the game. The Qs are about to go for their upside gap fill as well. I find it amazing he is so calm when the Vanquish account was. What do you mean? I cut it obviously at this high. I cut it right here on this trend line breakout. I've been out of this since 10:02. I got into it at 9:57. I was in out at 10:02 on this trend line break. That would be like horrible management to try to ride it past that because things like this happen. No, I literally had an alert go off on this trend line break. That would be really, really poor risk management to just arbitrarily hold it and pray that it goes in your favor after a potential real technical breakout. That would be crazy. But hey, I guess there are crazy people among us. Jesus, CoreWeave is up $1. Palantir is green. Nvidia is officially green. I guess this dip was to be bought, team. BTFD. BTFD. Wow, look at that. That just keeps going. Yeah, the Delta. It is pumping. The Mag 7, not as much. It did turn at 9:58. It did turn. But not as much as you'd want it to necessarily. The NASDAQ is really going. It seems like the big turning point across the board was at 9:58. Look at that. Not only in price, but it's being backed up by options as well. It kind of was telling you a little bit earlier, about 15 minutes earlier here on the SPY. We got this pump, and then on the pullback, the Delta didn't really pull back. Price came back to pretty much a double bottom, but the Delta just went flat. That's kind of interesting, a bit of divergence. And ever since then, the Delta is just continually ripping. Obviously, you have this natural target at 6621.76, yesterday's closing value. The upside gap fill, which is, if I were playing this trend, if you caught this at the double bottom at 59 right here, if you caught this breakout, even if you caught this at this point, set your stop to break even to a recent low. And if you have a runner, you have a runner. If you have a runner, you have a runner, dude. You never know how big a runner is going to be, so you kind of just have to tough it out, wait and see. You don't think they're going to dump it on people, do you? That would be a brutal trick. Do you think all these call buyers are going to start running for the door? This all works as long as they all hold. But the second these 0 DTE call buyers, and this is all 0 DTE driven, there's no differential between the 0 DTE and the all expiration. So all this delta movement is pretty much 0 DTE driven on the call side. So if they all hold, yeah, you have a real chance of it going. But as soon as someone sneezes, no one wants to be the last one holding a hot potato. So it'll be interesting. I'm very, very interested to see how these 0 DT players handle it throughout the remainder of the day. But look at that recovery. So the gamma there completely dropped. We're back above 6.6. Yeah, 6.625 is this next gamma node, which roughly aligns with right here, 2.5, pretty much that upside gap fill. Things might be a little sketchy if it breaks down below 6603, just because that would be taking out this recent low. So yes, we had a pattern of lower highs and higher lows, or excuse me, lower highs and lower lows, bearish, which then switched to higher highs and higher lows, bullish. So you always, when you're in a bullish phase, you want to track your recent lows. When you're bearish phase, you want to track your recent highs. You want to track the opposite to see if the trend is potentially changing, at least in the way that I look at the market. So right now, you obviously have this established low at 1013 on SPX, roughly 6604. So watch that low. Are we going to hold it? Is it going to be a double bottom? Is it going to be wick? Or is it going to break down? And granted, if that does break down, there is support pretty close by at 6,600. But let's see if this thing can give us that slow zombie-esque grind up to the upside gap fill at 6,621. Let's see. Well, I told you we'd have big ranges today. We had a 25-point sell-off leading to a 35-point bounce. I promised movement. I promised volatility. And that's what you've gotten. Totally Trump's fault. I think you mean fault. Upside gap fill on the SPY, and the Qs looking at the ETFs very close by. So the SPY, you are talking about 659.67, the low from yesterday. And then on the Qs, you are talking about really close, 593.36. So that one is absurdly close, like within 40 cents, within exactly 40 cents. The SPY has a little bit more distance to go, but totally possible. Let me remind you, on the daily chart, the overall momentum is still bullish. And I mean, you could ask anyone in the Discord. I even put this in my morning breakdown of I'm kind of neutral, because as much as people panic, a lot of panicans, people, like, this is what we see. Some people buy these dips. They love buying the dips. So that's just something that you inherently have to be ready for. You have to be ready for that type of a thing. There is no statistical correlation between the pre-market action and then the actual regular trading hours. I think a lot of people get spun up and they see red and they panic, and that's probably what leads to those little morning dips, and then people buy it up. And then there's other times that the morning weakness leads to a giant sell-off, and the odds of it are roughly 50-50. And for whatever reason, people have recency bias, and whatever they saw the chart just doing, they think it's going to be continuing. And sometimes statistically that is true on larger time frames, but on shorter time frames, not true. So if you see generic overall bullish on the daily chart, it's actually statistically relevant that you keep going that way. Of course, things do change, but generally new highs beget new highs. But that's for the daily chart. When you're looking at a smaller time frame, such as whatever, the 1 minute, 5 minute, 10 minute, 30 minute, by the time you get below a daily chart, by the time you get below a 4-hour time frame, it's pretty much normally distributed, as in it's about 50-50. And if you don't believe me, feel free to fact check me. But if you look at the 1 minute bars, like let's say you collect the last 1 year of 1 minute bars, 5 minute bars, 10 minute bars, 15 minute bars, 3 hour or 30 minute bars, 1 hour bars. If you do an analysis on those, it's going to be 50-50. If you say how many are bullish and how many are bearish, it's almost going to be perfectly 50-50. And I know that sounds crazy, but go fact check me. I beg you to try to prove me wrong on that statement. It is almost perfectly 50-50. And that is something that day traders and scalp traders really, really need to like internalize and accept, is the fact that, yeah, it's pretty much a 50-50 game. Overnight, such a low vol, it can be erased in the first minute. Oh, yeah, without a doubt. Actually, pretty much your opening, whatever, 1 minute, 5 minutes, you're going to have more volume traded there than the entire overnight session. You are 100% correct to say that. 100% correct. But what's weird on that particular note, just talking about like overnight sessions and stuff. Okay, if you had a trading strategy that bought at market open and sold at market close, and then the other one was buying at market close and selling at market open, so basically one is playing the day session and one is playing the night session, in the past couple decades of the S&P 500, almost all of the gains are from the overnight session. How crazy is that? Like if you had those two strategies, like just side by side, the regular trading hour one would pretty much, it has like a slight upward skew, but when we talk about the overall market grinding higher and higher and higher, it's pretty much from the overnight session. Once again, it's another thing that might sound crazy, but feel free to go fact check me on that. If you had to pick between the two of buying at open, selling at close, or buying at close and selling at open, you would be not just a little bit better off, but far better off when it comes to the overall market to just be long the overnight session. It's actually kind of a crazy phenomena, which doesn't necessarily negate, it's not mutually exclusive to the other statement of it's super low volume. That's also inherently true. But like, I mean, I already gave you my big call out. The big call out is this upside gap fill right here at 6622. And then from there, I want to see, are we just going for the gap fill and then we puke and come all the way back down? Or are we going to grind up to the closing value and then probably end the day closer to this craziness here, this transition zone? So I'm doing my best. I mean, I had that one scalp trade, as you guys all saw, made about $500 per account. I have 25 accounts. That's $12K. Sick. Awesome. Good day. And now I'm just waiting. I didn't play this pop just because of how bad the momentum was. And now we're starting to get bullish, but I generally only, like if I'm trading well, I'm only trading with momentum. So that's why I didn't attempt to try to catch this reversal, even though I knew the odds of this upside gap fill. And in reality, maybe I would have done it if I didn't already trade today. But the fact that I already locked in a winner, I didn't feel like some absurd need to like have to trade, you know? Maybe if I had no trade, I would have been more interested in this reversal at 10 a.m. Maybe. But the fact that I already had one decent trade, it just took all the pressure out of the situation. And now I could just sit here and wait and wait and wait and wait. And maybe that's going to be my one trade of the day. And in reality, whatever, 12K is 12K. Like, you know, like, and I don't blame you. If you guys took this reversal, that's a great trade. I mean, we were literally doing the live breakdown of what to pay attention to here. Interesting. Honestly, once again, feel free to fact check anything I say, especially on these statements. You can rewind the stream at this exact moment at 9:59. I called out the change of the hour, the potential higher low, the bounce looking for the trend line breakout, and I specifically said look for the trend reversal if it takes out 6594. Those were my exact words. We took that out and we kept going. So you could have been a little bit more risky in terms of accuracy, but taking on lower financial risk by going long in here. You could have met yourself in the middle by waiting for this actual breakout. That's where I cut my put position on Vanquish. Or you could have actually waited for the true trend. And at that point, your risk is a bit wider, but your accuracy would have been like you waited for the actual confirmation. So that's kind of up to you. It's kind of dealer's choice in that situation. But from there, we popped up. We broke out of 6,600. We tested on the third minute. We broke out, put in another higher low, clearly confirmed this new bullish trend of higher highs and higher lows. And ever since then, higher low, higher low, higher low. And now we're just still just going to be continually watching. Does it keep making higher lows? And if it does, it really, really does increase the chances of us hitting 22, which even at market open, the odds of us getting this upside gap fill, I forget the exact odds, but it's in the realm of like the high 70, low 80% chance of us getting that gap fill. That statement was true as of this morning, that at some point in the regular trading hours to get the upside gap fill, which once again is literally just the previous day's low. Because when I say gap, I'm saying like there's a literal gap in the chart. Like I mean that very, very literally. You can see right here between yesterday's low and today's high, there's currently a gap of about 5-ish points right here. Early this morning when we opened, it was larger. It was closer to 15 points. And so we're slowly but surely filling that gap. But that's what I mean. If you've never heard that before, like there's right here, the difference between the low and the high, there's a literal untested zone of supply and demand. Now, your next question from there might be, why do we fill gaps? Well, the general consensus is something along the lines of the market likes to test untested areas of supply and demand. Okay, maybe. Maybe that is why. Maybe that isn't why. My question is, does it matter why? What's more important is, does that likelihood still exist? And the answer is yes, it does exist. So whether it happens because the market likes to test untested levels of supply and demand, whether it's because Mercury is in retrograde, is it because I ate pasta last night? I don't know. I mean, the point is you might have a reasoning of why something does or doesn't happen, but you'll never be able to test it. It's not like you'll be able to take Mercury being in retrograde out of the equation and see if that somehow impacts it. What you can test is the statistical likelihood of these things either playing out or not playing out, regardless of did I eat pasta last night. I think that's the best way to think about it. So you're never going to be able to confirm why something happens. You're just going to be able to confirm did something happen or not. It's hard to take anyone's take on stocks seriously when they don't have actual skin in the game. At least NBC provides breaking news. Are you talking about me? Not having skin in the game? What? I think out of almost all live streamers doing this, I'm the one with actual skin in the game. Literally, my account this morning had 300 grand on the line in fucking options. What are you talking about? Skin in the game. Dude, holy shit. Interesting commentary from a dude who's in a tax bracket way beneath me talking about skin in the game. Holy shit. My stress levels wish I had no skin in the game. God damn. That's crazy. No skin in the game. Dude, trust me, on my own stress levels, everyone involved, including myself, wishes I had less skin in the game. What? Oh fuck, man! I wish that were true. I'm laughing because like I genuinely wish what you said was like actually right. Like I deeply wish what you said was correct. You know nothing about me. Someone who really has 300K doesn't need to stream on YouTube all day. You realize as recently as this morning, I showed my account to everyone. You realize as recently as my update video yesterday, I showed my recent positions and my reasoning. You realize as recently as this morning, I showed a live trade to everyone where I made 12K. Let's make this a fun bet. If I prove to you that my accounts in total right now are more than $300,000, and I'm not even talking sim funded, I'm talking like my own actual money, my accounts right now. If I prove it to you, let's bet. Let's bet. Apparently, I don't know anything about you. You're coming off as maybe you're super rich. Let's bet $10,000. Easy for you. If I can right now definitively prove to you that I have more than $300,000 in my active trading account, you pay me 10K. And if I can't, if I'm making it up and it's sim funded and it's paper trading and it's not real, then I'll pay you 10K and I'll do it live in front of everyone right now. I'll do it like I will send it. I will go to PayPal. I'll log in. I'll show everyone my password and I will send it to your account live. It feels easy, right? Let's do it. Let's do it. I feel like that's a fair thing. If I'm a scammer and I'm just making all this up and it's all fake, come on, dude. Take the bet. Take the bet. Take the bet. You name the number you would like to bet, and I'm gonna let you know. I just auto accept it. Let's just now. Cat's got his tongue. He's gone quiet on us. Now, he got real quiet. I'll bet 10 more on Matthew. I mean, it's such an evident bet when I show you guys my accounts all the time. This is like such the sign of like just being a new person here. I'll take the bet. All right, well, how are we going to confirm it? I mean, literally, you could rewind to yesterday's show. You could rewind to this morning's show. You can, the proof is outstanding, but not through your Photoshops. As in just load my account? Well, wait, how am I going to collect, though? When I prove to you, which obviously you're a new person because everyone else in here already knows exactly what's going on. He said you Photoshop my accounts. When I reload my page, when I'm like literally just reloading it, you think immediately I'm somehow editing the CSS. I'm not going to rely on your doctored proof. I'm literally logging into an account. How would I doctor immediately when I log into an account? I'm not talking about Photoshop. I'm talking about like literally like just logging in and reloading the page. You think I'm editing the photo? You think I'm editing the CSS that quickly? Man, people are stupid. It's been done before by other fake streamers. Yeah, you caught me, man. Just the guy who shows proof of everything. Literally logs into his account, calls out his trades before they happen. I do fake it. You caught me there. What I do is I time travel. I time travel. And I go into the future. I find out where the market's about to go, and then I come back to the stream, and that's how I'm actually cheating the entire system. You sound illiterate. All right, guys, it's not nice to pick on retards. All right, well, when you confirm to me that you can make good on your payment, I will show you whatever you want. I will show you the broker statements. I will live log into my accounts. I will do whatever. I will do it all live, but you need to show me proof that you're going to pay. Jesus. This is what happens when Rumble Chat joins YouTube. Some people are so incredibly fucking idiotic. This is what happens when you take too much Tylenol when you're pregnant. Folks, this is a public service announcement that Tylenol babies, it's real. It's an epidemic. It's a real big issue, folks. Everyone thinks popping a T-pill now and then is some sort of joke. But this is what happens years later. They grow up and get access to YouTube. This is, folks, if you happen to be a pregnant person in here, be careful about popping those T-pills, you know? 300K is some great accomplishment. To many people it is. I'm not really trying to say it's a great accomplishment. He's just saying that it's all fake. So I'm saying, hey, this is actually what my account's at. That's my active account. Of course, I have a long-term investment account. Of course, I have bank accounts. I have a futures account. First of all, yes, $300,000 is a lot of money to 99.99999% of people currently living. Yes, that is a lot of money. And if you don't think it is, imagine if you just lost $300,000. Would you take that in stride? Of course, it's a lot of money. Don't be a dipshit. But I'm not trying to say that that is some amazing trading account value. My point is it's just that it's real money, and I'm putting a decent chunk of my net worth on the line. Everyone stopped messaging. Let's figure out the terms of this bet. He accepted, but once again, he's just going to be a little bitch. I'm not new. I still remember when you blew your account 6 months ago. You mean my SIM to funded accounts? This is what happens. You just let all the fucking trash on the internet. I think there should be two internets. I think there should be an internet for people who have above room temperature IQ, and then I think there should be an internet for everyone else. And then we can just like separate and not have to deal with each other. Because like it's it's kind of sad that not only I have to put up with it, but all the rest of you fine folks have to put up with this. Like this guy, like fucking his mom was probably washing down the Tylenol with alcohol. You have a Tylenol baby that's also battling fetal alcohol syndrome. Poor Tylenol babies. You hate to it. Well, anyway, the offer is open. And actually, that goes for anyone. If anyone wants to bet me $10,000 that I don't have $300K plus on actively bet in the market, my active options account, not even talking about investments or anything. If you want to do a $10,000 bet, I will give you broker statements. I will do live logins. I'll do it in front of everyone. I'll do it in front of you. Whatever you want. Whoever wants to take that bet, I am here. Matt, you're insulting 1 in 12 of your audience with the Tylenol jabs. Fuck. I want it higher than 1 in 12. I said I'll bet you 10K. Let's go. Okay, reach out to me. Email is media@MatthewKohrs.com. DM me. But no, I want an actual contract that you're going to pay because, let's be honest, you have the vibes of being a little bit of a bitch and you're not going to follow through. You're talking a big game. But no, I'll even pay the lawyer for the contract. This is the easiest money in the world. This is actually, we've had a lot of dumb conversations here. This is very rapidly spiraling into one of the dumbest conversations. If you give me your login, I'll guarantee you will have $0 in those accounts. All right. I like how this guy's like hiding behind his account. Just give us your information. We'll set it up. We'll make it a big deal. We'll make it its own stream. I mean, everyone's with. Yeah, Matt, I'm with you. I'll take 5K bet. Yeah, because you guys have been here and you know that I show you my accounts. This would be an interesting bet if, like, per basically day, I wasn't showing you guys my accounts. If Matt loses, I'll quit. Discord. Bet Trey's phone number. Trey actually, ever since he was proven to be a fraud in the AMC community, did you guys know he actually got rid of his phone? He switched his number up and everything because of the amount of people who were sending him messages about how they felt about him and his actions. Fun fact. Just a little bit of a fun fact. All right, we are stalling out at an interesting level on the SPY. We've kind of undershot this upside gap fill. But we're stalling out at a very important level of yesterday's close on the Qs. So the question is are these NASDAQ bets going to unwind and drag the SPY with it? Because look at, we don't have that follow through anymore. The thing that was driving the market up, all of that 0 DTE call buying, well, at 10:24, those call buyers went flat and they haven't returned yet. Of course, at any moment, someone could splash the pot and more 0 DTs could come in. But be careful about this because if these players, you have 1.22 billion in delta notional value, if they unwind and bring us back to zero, it could get a little bit saucy. It could get a little bit saucy. Leave Brittany alone. Leave him alone. Yeah, R.I.P. R.I.P. Man, some days wake up and you just know you got to pop a Tylenol or two. Maybe 3 or 4. Wash it down. What an interesting time we live in. Interesting time. Palantir is, dude, look at all this. People are just YOLOing in. All right, so CoreWeave holding green, Apple got back green, Palantir got back green, NVIDIA got back green, Tesla in the red, but back above 430. Watch 435. Whoa, Can we take half of this and add it to the Payday Friday giveaway tomorrow? I don't know how to make it work to get money from YouTube. Either way, thanks for the value, hugs, and kisses. For all the fakeness of this channel, see y'all in Discord when the real truth comes out. Real Spicy Chef, more than happy to add that on and make Payday Friday giveaway a little bit more exciting, which, hey, if you're here right now, yeah, every Friday we're doing a Payday Friday giveaway. So tomorrow we're going to give away not only cash, a little extra cash. We're going to be giving away prop accounts. We're going to be doing a bit of a marble race. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow, on top of the fact that it's also a PCE type of a day. So shout out Real Spicy Chef. And then Latino Potato. Palantir Latino Potato. Bro. What does that possibly mean? Latino Potato. And then your icon is a potato. Latino Potato. Like, ew. Responds to the super chat with Palantir to the moon. Doesn't really relate to it or not, but whatever. Latino spicy potato. So it's a spicy potato. But what's fascinating about the whole thing is at some point when he was getting ready, he's like, that's my name. Like when he first created his YouTube account, there was a thought that he's like, all right, I could do this, could do that. And then at some point in this iteration of thought, he's like, fucking Latino potatoes. That he's like, he just landed on it. He's like, it probably called to him. It was probably an epiphany-esque. What happened to Rumble Live? Sorry if you already told us. It's just down this morning. Something, the encoder is broke. I could show it to you because I have it up still technically right here, waiting for an encoding server to claim placeholder video. So something happened that I guess it seems like I guess to directly answer, it seems like some basic tech issue seems to be going on. I assume they'll have it fixed by hopefully the end of the day. Hopefully the end of the day, but I don't know. I have more questions about Latino Potato here. I have questions about Latino Potato and I need answers. Why is it not a Latinx potato? Why is it a Latino potato? Why? Why, oh, why? All right, Mag 7 has flattened out and the S&P has flattened out, actually tilting a little bit down. Ooh. Well, that makes this fake out breakout a little bit more interesting, I suppose. So anyway, it's almost like running it back like we saw this morning. Upon the breakout of this trend line, real shot at this upside gap fill. And then if you have a continuation, you're talking about yesterday's low. On the flip side, if we make a fresh low, which I would define as this low right here, 6608, 6606, you're looking for that retest of 6,600. If that doesn't hold, you're looking for a return down to 6,580, which early this morning was a key gamma level. I don't really believe it is so much now. Actually, a lot of this gamma has just disappeared throughout the day. We got rejected right there at 6615, and then this bet disappeared as well. Lots of changes in live trading throughout the day. And even the support at 6,600 is kind of going to the wayside, folks. Be careful with that. The fact that this really disappeared relative to 10 minutes ago, it's dipping. Be careful about that. What was giving us that protection is now just non-existent. And the major thing I'm seeing is all the way down here at 6575. So just be careful with this structure. Be careful with, we popped up, we're flat. Right now we're effectively just range bound, but be careful about this breakdown because where we saw a lot of players early this morning, as of this moment, they're kind of gone. So remember, it's a game of if then statements. If we return there, as of now, it's not showing the most support. There's a bit more support down at 90, but these are long puts. People are playing a drop 290. People are playing a drop 26575. But as I'm saying that, we're actually knocking on the door of the breakout. So not crazy. I mean, if you play this breakout, you're playing the trend line break and the upside gap fill. And your risk is this recent low. You could either use the low at 1031 or you could use the low at 1047. And then if you like that risk reward, if you're fine accepting that, have at it, dude. Have at it. Have at it, have at it, have at it. Stepbrother helped me make the game enter name when I was like 5. I'm stuck. Love the channel on Discord. Stay positive. You know, Latino potato, for you, anything. Matt, believe me, buy call specs next week, all-time high. I actually do believe that, but I'm waiting for the inflation report tomorrow. I am waiting for the inflation report tomorrow. That's what I'm saying. Without any skin in the game, you just talk the talk without saying anything. Oh. This is why we have to look more into Tylenol. This is why we have to look more into Tylenol. It's just, why are there so many retards in this world? Like, it's just, it's sad. It makes me sad. He's still here, I guess. I don't know. Like, the fact that one guy is willing to take the brutal beating of the entire internet, calling him a dimwit, and he's like, I'm right. Why would I stream? Only losers and beggars stream. I guess so. Everyone buy Tylenol, hurry. Only losers and beggars stream. Yeah, it seems like you're really prolific here. Real prolific. 7 shitty music things put up a decade ago. You got me, buddy. You got me. I am a loser and a beggar. That is me. 'Tis I. 'Tis I. Well, that breakout got smoked. Ooh. You know, this guy yelling at me, no skin in the game. In a weird way, I could argue it's disrespectful for people who have no skin whatsoever. Maybe, just maybe, we should be grateful to have skin at all. And this guy is arguing that not only should you have skin, but it should be in some form of a game. And I just thought we were better than that. Here in 2025, I thought we were accepting of all colors, creeds, races, whether you have skin or you don't have skin. And it feels disrespectful to people who don't have skin at all. It just, I don't know. I thought we were at a better place in society. What did you do to this guy, Matt? He did it to me. He accused me of not having skin, which was in a game. You hate to see it. Oh, it's so hard to take people seriously when you just don't fucking care. Yeah, just, getting NVIDIA getting saved? Old NVIDIA getting saved? Wow. This has gone nowhere since 1025. We are just, look at that. Movement, found equilibrium, supply equals demand, and we've gone nowhere. The Skinners. Did you take his girl or something? Maybe. He's probably super bummed out that his girlfriend's favorite. What if you're an aspirin baby? You probably have a Megan is watching. If you're an aspirin baby, there's probably a really good chance that you have lower risk of heart attack. I would say. That's what's crazy about it. To my understanding, if you take Tylenol, you're going to be autistic. But if you take aspirin, your heart health is going to be through the chart. Crazy how things like that happen, right? Crazy how that happens. Okay, something has to happen at this point. Let's break this range. Let the kids play. Let the kids play. Dude, this is going nowhere. Financial advice, medical advice, whatever advice we can get. That's the channel. All relationship advice, financial advice, medical advice, all of it. You need a type of advice, and I'm your guy. If you need any form of advice, you've come to the right channel. You're exactly where you need to be. What's crazy is I've had a pending order for a while and just nothing's gone on. I'm just sitting here waiting painfully. Palantir keeps going though, folks. Congrats if you somehow magically got into this one early today, because this thing is a runaway train. Apple, not so much. Nvidia's also looking decent. Tesla, not so much. Coin, decent recovery. Oracle, Avago, Nike swoosh. Meta, Microsoft, decent recovery. Hood, decent recovery. Hut, not so much. Netflix, decent bounce. Open is up another 8%. A lot of people. Any skincare advice? Yeah, I use Dawn dish soap. I figure if it's good enough for ducklings caught in oil, it's good enough for me. You know? Did Piper sign off on you obliterating that guy? What's crazy is he somehow still thinks he's right. That's just probably how we've gotten to the political situation we're currently at. You know, there's a lot of dum-dums who get for the same access we all do to the public square. Updates from YouTube. We've seen some previously terminated creators try to start new channels. To clarify, our pilot program on terminations is not yet open. It's still against our community guidelines for previously terminated users to use, possess, or create other channels, and will terminate new channels from previously terminated users in accordance with these guidelines. We'll have more to share on the limited pilot program soon. Is YouTube dumb? Was YouTube taking Tylenol? Was its mom taking Tylenol when it was pregnant? Dude, this party's still going here, Tonto. This party is going here, Tonto. Look at this range, dude. We've just been watching paint dry ever since 10:20. 10:20, 10:25. We've been here for over a half hour. Just actually watching paint dry. 5 minute is now bullish, 10 minute is testing, 30 minute, 4 hours bearish. 5 minute is bullish, 10 minute is testing, 30 minute and 4 hours bearish. So quite the intraday recovery thus far. Remember, the level of interest is 6622. That is the upside gap fill. And I suppose if you really, really, really wanted to, you could watch this. So this is the overnight market movement. Maybe a recovery up to that high that we saw at 2130. 2130. Interesting. What's that? 930. So what's that? It's just below 800. Just below it. But alas, just range bound. Nvidia looking decent. Open, having a good day. Palantir also having a good day. Here's a look at the flow. It's flat, slightly tilted up, I would say, ever since 10. And then the S&P 500 had a big pop, came down, and flat ever since. So really, not only are we not trending in price action, we're also very much not trending in options flow either. So we are stuck in some purgatory until something happens. Stuck in purgatory. Feels like we could have erased the last 2 hours and we would not have noticed. Yep, you're not wrong. There was the dip, there was the dip, there was the dip, there was the rip. Both were playable, and now we're just stuck waiting for either the breakout or the breakdown, and it's probably playable if the options trend also looks similar. But in reality, it was a classic mean reversion right back up to the EMAs, right back up to the EMAs, right back up to the EMAs. We sell off right back up to all the major EMAs. So mean reversion. What you just saw was clear mean reversion. Everyone took an early lunch. It feels like it. At this point, it definitely feels as if that is true. Well, folks, that's what I have for you. It's a quiet day. Things started off with a little bit of chaos, a little bit of pandemonium, and now we are A-okay. Gazillion times during the show, I showed you the key levels to the upside, to the downside, whether we get the breakout or the breakdown. I will personally be paying those levels accordingly. Tomorrow morning, we have the PCE inflation report at 8:30, which means we're going to be starting early. And tomorrow's also going to be Payday Friday, where we're giving away some extra cash. We're going to give away some prop accounts. We're going to have a marbles race. It's going to be a fun time. Hope to see you there. But between now and then, we'll also be releasing an update video tonight to give you a breakdown of maybe all the things that you missed throughout the day. So that's pretty much the plan. Update video tonight, stream early tomorrow morning. You already have the key levels for the day. And in the meantime, I'll be hanging out in the Discord. But for right now, as things are doing nothing, if price action is doing nothing, if options are doing nothing, that's exactly what you should be doing. You should be doing nothing. Don't forget, if you want Bookmap to see the buying, sell, or the sitting buy orders and sell orders, that's Bookmap. And then if you want the current best deal, it is Take Profit Trader. Don't forget to use that code Goonie, all pinned to the top of chat, all in the description of the video. And of course, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, reach out to me, media@MatthewKohrs.com, or just DM me on Twitter or whatever, OnlyFans, MySpace, and I will finally get back to you. Maybe. I don't know. That's what I have for you. I appreciate all the good vibes. I hope you make a bunch of money, and I'll catch you later. Peace.